A lot of us are on training ground right now, and a lot of us are being attacked, unfortunately, in the spirit. But with our natural eyes, we see our family member, partner, we see our children, but we have to start having the lens of Christ, seeing it through God's eyes. We can make a wrong move that dissatisfies God, goes against and goes contrary to how He needs us to move. And I don't know about you, but that's the last thing I want to do. Some of you have been waiting for this answer right here, and it lies at the feet of Jesus. Here we are, grand and rising. Grand rising. Grand rising. Here we are, grand and rising on this beautiful and blessed Training Tuesday rising. On today, beloved, I want to just encourage you that as you are training when it comes to having discernment. Now, we've spoken a lot about discernment here in this ministry, the difference between discernment, that's knowing the difference between right and wrong, but then you have discerning of spirits, right? That's being able to discern the spirit that's operating behind someone, behind something, right? It's very important to, first of all, be able to decipher the two, but also the Bible tells us to pray for these gifts. Now, discernment is a gift. It's a gift that God gives. It's a gift that comes from heaven. Okay. If you do not have the Holy Spirit, it's going to be very tough for you to walk in the spirit of discernment, discerning these spirits, beloved. Now, we know that Ephesians 6:12 tells us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So we're not wrestling against the people that we can see, right? We can see who's acting harsh towards us. We can see who's actually betraying us. We can see these people, but it is not these people that we're truly wrestling against. So in the way that you fight back, in the way that you respond and react has to be according to who your true opponent is. Responding and reacting in a way that your flesh wants to because all you can do is see the person in front of you, that's going to get you nowhere, beloved. And actually, it can get you outside of the will of God. But if we're going to fight this fight, this good fight, might I add, if we're going to fight it, we have to fight it in the way that God needs us to fight it. We have to fight it in the way that God equipped us to fight it. If we're trying to fight outside of our equipping, how is that going to work? So when you know that your opponent is not your spouse, when you know that your opponent is not your best friend, when you know that your opponent is not the dog, when you know that your opponent is not your boss, when you know that your opponent is not someone who's wearing a flesh outer shell, then you know that your fight, your response, your reaction needs to look a little bit different from what you can see. Beloved, a lot of us are on training ground right now, and a lot of us are being attacked, unfortunately, in the spirit, right? But with our natural eyes, we see our family member, we see our partner, we see our children, we see who we see, but we have to start, we talked about this last week, having the lens of Christ, seeing it through God's eyes, seeing it through God's lens. Pray and ask God to give you His eyes to see, to give you His ears to hear, to give you His heart to love and respond back in the way that you need to, beloved, because we can make a wrong move, a move that dissatisfies God, a move that goes against and goes contrary to how He needs us to move. And I don't know about you, but that's the last thing I want to do. So I encourage you today to pray and ask God for discernment in the spirit, and pray and ask God for the gift to be able to discern spirits and to know how He needs you to fight back. Some of you have been waiting for this answer right here, and it lies at the feet of Jesus. So I submit to you today, go get your answer at the feet. Not from your homeboy, not from your homegirl. Granted, God does use people, but a lot of you are missing the gift that can only come from heaven. You got to get that at the feet of Jesus. So I pray that I encouraged you, and I pray that you can go forward in this. And I will see you guys on tomorrow's Rising. Grand Rising.